Hey, before I play the opening song, we're going to have another conversation about Lyme disease today, which I've covered about, I think it's about my fifth, I think it's about 7 shows. Here she is. And, but while I was advertising this show, I got contacted by a woman who might come on, and I just want to read out what she sent to me. I was bitten on the 2nd of September 2013 in Brisbane, Queensland, and ended up in ICU, partially paralyzed. How do I make my life has been a living hell ever since. I can't find a doctor that will help me. Let's see. Who will help me? I've lost everything, my house, my business, my health. I'm now homeless and living in a caravan on a friend's property. All of my money, including my super, has been spent on medical bills and having to go overseas to Germany for treatment. I haven't been able to work ever since and cannot afford to even pay rent. I'd like to send you my story if you're interested. Well, rather than telling a story, she might come on later if she can figure it out. So this is what we're going to talk about again, this bizarre illness that the Australian government doesn't want to know anything about, called Lyme disease. Opening song, here we go.
If I could be anything for you, I would be your cure. I'd pour light into your wounds to soak their poison into the potions of love. And as their darkness drained, I would tear apart your cage, molding the bars that held you into your destined wings. And if from your flight you returned, I would have sewn a blanket for you, cut fresh from the curative fabric of spring. But hopefully you fly off to that destination you were born with, the one they tried to steal from your soul, the destination you were born with, the one they tried to steal from your soul.
Okay, let's get started. I'll bring in Anne Ryan first. And Anne, you're a councillor.
I am, yes. I was deputy mayor up until a couple of weeks ago. My colleagues obviously didn't want me as deputy anymore. Politics is a cruel game, Michael.
I've heard that around the country. Is that anything to do with your medical stats?
Probably. But I don't resolve from, I stood up, I was the only councillor during all the palaver to, we had an electors meeting, and there was all these lovely people out on the showgrounds, and all the other councillors were wearing masks, and we were outdoors. I just thought it was pathetic. So I stood by them, and everyone else, I believe every other councillor got jabbed, probably still having them, and I just refused.
Yeah. So you refused. I met. I think I met the councillor of. What was it? Portland. He was the mayor. They got rid of him eventually, but he was the same. It's the last 5 years of being incredible that way. But we're not talking about COVID tonight, because before you got COVID, you had another disease. Do you want to talk about that? I'll just see if Sonia's there. I can see her, but I can't see her camera. Sonia, you've got to turn on your camera.
Here, hang on. Here we go.
There
we
go. Hey, Sonia. So
Hi,
I'll get
Anne.
you in a sec, Sonia. But first off, we're just going to hear from Anne, how she.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, the only other thing I haven't done is plug it in. Excuse us as we have a few teething issues.
Sure.
I have to plug this somewhere. What's that? Yeah, you might have to just go grab the other one. Yeah. Hopefully this doesn't run out. Let's see what we got. 40 minutes. Okay, sorry about that. We have things. Anyway, Anne, just tell us when did you get Lyme disease, and what was it like when you first got it?
So 2016, I already had chronic fatigue. I'd visited my sister's place in, she was in Canning Vale in Perth. She'd been camping with her dog. I was playing with the dog, and about a week later, I had an unbelievably itchy underarm and a bullseye rash on my head here. And so went to the doctors, and they basically just discounted it. And so I hit the computer and started Googling, went back to the doctors because I wasn't getting any better. And ultimately she sent me to the psychiatrist, head psychiatrist at Busselton Hospital, who basically said, if I don't see things going the right way, I will forcibly medicate you.
What?
So that's what they do.
Do you mean like a psych ward?
Like a what?
Or do you mean like they were going to put you in a psych ward?
Well, I think so, yeah, or drug me. I'm not quite sure, but what his intentions were. But that was the first, and then I kept going back to the doctor because I had a thyroid storm. I had, you name it, I had it. There's about 300 different symptoms that you can get. Every individual is different, so whatever your genetics are, you're going to get something different. One of the things that I found out that I had is MTHFR. Are we allowed to swear?
Yeah, swear your head off. It's cafe.
It's called the motherfucker gene, and that's a good way of it's a good way of remembering it. So I've got the MCC67T1. Yep. You can have a double whammy. And I think that's we don't methylate properly. So in other words, it goes in, it doesn't come out. And so I think that's my problem is, we get hit with all sorts of chemicals, and so we've literally got to work really hard to detox. And so my rabbit hole journey, I remember reading about the gift of Lyme, and I thought, why would anybody call this a gift? To be sick, to be feeling like you want to end it is not a gift to me. Yeah. But as I said to you before the show started, the reason why I knew COVID was a con, because I'd been down the rabbit hole. I'd understood what vaccinations were about. I'd understood what drugs do to you and why the drug companies try and keep us sick or can't keep us healthy or deny what we've got is all part of the game.
Before I move to Sonia, you said the doctors felt that way. I might mute you, Sonia. I think you're doing a few funny sounds. Before the doctors, after the doctors had ignored it, can you just mute Sonia, my thing? What about family and friends? Were they also thinking that you were just making it up or something was wrong?
My other half was really, really good. He knew that I was predominantly a healthy person until this happened. So he was very understanding. but the rest of the family thought, well, it's not a real disease, so it's all in your head. So we're not, we don't want to come and visit you because you're morbid and you're sick and you're saying all this weird stuff. And yeah, that was frustrating. And to a certain degree, they still don't believe me.
Yeah.
My children especially.
Your children don't?
Mm. Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to get back to that in a sec. Let's start with Sonia. So, Sonia, you've just recently contracted it, haven't you? Can you hear me, Sonia?
Well, yeah, I got bitten by a tick in November. Yes, I can hear you.
Can you remember? Can you remember the actual tick?
Yeah, I remember that. I don't know what type of tick it was, but it was right up in my ear, and my ear blew up and it didn't settle down. So I did go to the local hospital, and I was also asked if I had any psychiatric issues by the head doctor, and I explained symptoms. Just it was full of nonsense, and and that was the end of that. So that sent me into a bit of a spin, and I got quite depressed about it because he.
Sonia, your internet is really bad. What I might get you to do? What I might get you to do is switch your camera off, so we'll just hear you audibly, and then you'll come through, because you're just breaking up, because I think your internet's pretty bad. Did you hear me, Sonia? Okay, just try turning your camera off and see if that changes, and then audio should come through. Now, the other thing too, Anne, while we're working with Sonia, is that it seems to be true that doctors can actually get in trouble if they actually deal with it. Is this true?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's two in Western Australia. When I was sick, I visited one, and then there was another one, but they are being threatened with being struck off, and it's the same right across Australia. So we're on our own. I think that it's an illness that you have to do the research. You have to be your own doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. But what does that feel like, knowing that doctors who are there, the one job they have is to look after you, do no harm, and help you? And I mean, we've seen this all through COVID, with vaccine injuries, they ignore them.
Yeah.
But how is it for you? You don't have this huge herd of unvaccinated people who can rally behind you. You're basically being told you're an idiot, and yet you still are suffering from these debilitating symptoms.
It was very frustrating at the start because, you've got people around you that have got cancer and all these recognized illnesses. And you think, on occasions, gee, I'd love to have cancer. At least somebody would have a bit of sympathy for me and, give me a treatment plan. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but that's, I think, what Sonia, my conversation with Sonia was like that. She wants to be heard. She wants to be recognised.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is even if you do find a doctor that is willing to treat you, it's still a hard slog, because I think my pharmacy bill after seeing that doctor was about $700. And to try and remember, when you've got a brain that isn't functioning, because this is neurological, when you've got a brain that isn't functioning, you have to remember that you've got to take that one at 9 o'clock and that one at 12 o'clock and that one in between and that one at, before you go to bed. And you're literally rattling when you walk. And do they help? I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
So you basically need a carer first, someone to actually remember that. And then you're not even sure that they help. What were the medications that they were giving you? Hi, Sonia, you there?
Yeah, they weren't actually medications. They were more health, pills and vitamin E and D and all those things, and juices and lots of different things. But And good on the doctor for at least acknowledging. And they sent my bloods off to Germany, which cost $1,800.
Wow.
Which that's a lot of money. With the benefit of hindsight, I would have said, no, thanks, I've got it. I know I've got Lyme disease. I'm just going to treat myself. But it's been a long haul. It really has been a long haul.
So the Americans believe it, because even Justin Timberlake has apparently come out and he says he's got it now. So we've got a major star with it. The Europeans, or at least the Germans, acknowledge it. So there's just some strange thing about Australia. Sonia, can you hear us? Are you there? Sonia? Okay, I might get Kelly to give Sonia a call and see if she can help with that, and we'll come back to Sonia. And but this is so. When you're going down, you're trying to figure out why the doctors aren't acknowledging you, why they're scared, why they could get a banned or suspended if they do treat you. So I take it this is where you were saying before, this is where you started going down the rabbit hole to figure out, well, what's going on? Why am I being treated like this? And what did you find?
Well, there have been a couple of medical researchers, one in particular, and I can't think of her name at the minute, but it's easy to Google. I believe, as does she, it was the first bioweapon. Ticks were released off Plum Island in America, and if they acknowledge that it was a bioweapon, then it's going to let the cat out of the bag. And there's it's a bit like COVID. How hard has it been to get the acceptance that these jabs are wicked? And so if they accepted that Plum Island was real and it was a bioweapon, then we're really in trouble, aren't we? And I was with the National Party in 2018, and we went to Canberra, and we got through just trying to think what we got through we debated whether we put up a motion, and it got resolved eventually to acknowledge that Lyme disease exists, to spend the same amount of money. Julie Bishop had a bill going forward, and could we spend the same amount of money and acknowledge that? Well, that was in 2018, and the National Party have done nothing.
In 2018, they acknowledged that Lyme disease was here. And
the National Party acknowledged that they would do something about it. Yeah.
Okay. Now the other thing, what were the results from Germany with the blood results?
I got the results back that I had every single co-infection known to man. There were about 15 of them, but the Borrelia didn't show up. Now, the problem with Borrelia burgdorferi is that it needs to be in the blood at the time they take the blood. And on a lot of occasions, it's not. So how I found out that I had the Borrelia was by chance. A lady from a health food shop said to me, did I know Roland Pole, who was a naturopath in Margaret River, and he's got a bioresonance machine. He used his bioresonance machine, and it picked up everything, the Borrelia and all the other co-infections.
So does the Borrelia work like malaria, where it sort of comes out, infects, and then vanishes and returns? Is that how it works?
I would imagine. I haven't done any work on that, but I would imagine it would be a similar.
Well, we have a doctor here, Dr. Daniel Nino. He says there's no Lyme in Australia.
Of course, they say that.
Yeah. But there was actually a government. The government did do some research into it, didn't they? Or a Senate inquiry or something? Is that true?
I believe so. There was a paper done a number of years ago now, and it was it did confirm that Borrelia was here, and then some other scientists peer-reviewed it, and I believe it was poo-pooed. So, look,
Okay.
as far as I'm concerned, you can't have this many people suffering so badly across Australia and tell me as a doctor, only when doctors and politicians get the illness will something be done.
Well, let's be honest. Previous to COVID, you just automatically trusted a doctor. You took it for granted. But all of them, including Daniel Lino here, lie. And they've turned out to be just faulty human beings. And so we just can't take their thing anymore. There's, like he's saying here, that he's just saying there's nothing, it's not here. So that's, you turn up, you got all these illnesses, you're part of a community, they've all got the same illnesses. It's like I said, the 7th interview, all these people have similar things. And instead of going, well, that's interesting, let's figure out what it could be. There must be some correlation, like you think a scientist and some empathetic human being, especially a doctor, would go, instead it's like, nah, there's nothing, doesn't exist. You must be making it up. So, yeah, I just find it a peculiar thing.
I did some research. Now, in Busselton, we have what's called a Ramsar wetlands. It's a fairly big area, and there is a treaty with Japan, Korea, North and South, and China. And the Australian government allows birds to fly in from those countries into Australia, into our Ramsar wetlands. I'm telling you, there are an enormous amount of people walking around Busselton who are sick. They are sick. Wow. And they don't know what the problem is, because the doctors say, no, there is no Lyme disease in Australia. So all those people are going through a medical system.
Can't be that. Can't be that. Can't be that.
Yeah.
We know what it's not. But we know what it is.
So this doctor that's just contacted you, that's denying that it's in Australia, I defy him to go and really speak to his patients, really speak to them and have some empathy and some sympathy, and try and figure out and let him go down the rabbit hole of being threatened to be struck off because he's actually doing no harm to his patients and treating them.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm just going to bring up, hey, Kath. Oh, she's going. Okay, good. Sonia. Yeah, Sonia's having a lot of trouble. Yeah, and Kath's getting ready too. I'll bring Kath in a bit sooner in a bit when she's there. So how did you go to actually dealing with it once you realized the medical establishment was not going to help? You've got family members that don't believe you. You're still ill. How did you decide? How were you going to cope? Because I know a lot of the people who have this tell me that suicide is one of the things they cope with as well. They just want to give up. Yep. So how did you get past that and start living?
Well, I realized that the internet was an amazing thing. So I decided that I was going to knock down my symptoms one by one. So I would research, I would go online, and I would find some drug or some natural therapy. Let me tell you, like every Lyme patient, I've got a whole drawer full of pills and potions. And my dog, God bless her, she was going to die with me. If I was going to die, she was going to die. So we were, but because she got Lyme disease as well. She contracted it from me. She she was acting really strangely, and she was, looked very arthritic. We took her to the vet, and the vet said, no, it's not arthritis. Don't know what it is. So I figured, she's going to be have the same things as me, and she still does. And so I did turpentine, I did ivermectin, I did hydroxychloroquine, I've done low-dose naltrexone, I've done you name it, I've done it. And some were brilliant, some just didn't work, weren't for me. And just trial and error. So each symptom, this was the worst symptom I had this week, so let's deal with that. Yep, that works. knock that one down, and detox. And yeah, just acknowledge the fact that I was on my own and I was going to be the best doctor I could be and the best researcher I could be, and just fix it.
I love it. Sonia, can you hear us now? Sonia.
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Hi.
Sonia. You sound better now. You're not breaking up. So we've just heard from Anne. We've got Kath going to come in a bit. But tell us, Sonia, you got it. What was it like when you first went to it? And what were the symptoms first, Sonia? Because you were texting me about them. That's why I did the interview. What were the symptoms that you first experienced?
Yes. Okay, well, brain fog, but severe muscle pain and cramping in my muscles, aches. Also strange sort of like movement and twitching in my body, feeling like my body was just twitching from my arms and my waist, and it was just...
What are you doing, Sonia? Can you just stay still and just hold the phone to your face? All we can hear is you moving around.
No, I'm sitting in a chair, dead still.
Okay. So go on. Go on about the symptoms you were having.
So, wow. Whenever I talk, it sounds like someone's moving paperwork around or something.
Yeah, it does.
But there's no one in the... there's no one in the room with me. So I'm just sitting right next to the router, and I'm very still. Nothing's moving around me. So
all right, no worries. Okay, so tell us about the symptoms that made you go to a doctor.
Well, just the muscle pain, predominantly in my legs, very strong pain, burning ear, obviously, which was there. I didn't find a rash, but the irritation in my ear and the redness in my ear didn't go away for months. And I did go to the hospital, the local hospital, about it because I thought it was a bit strange. I never considered Lyme disease because I didn't really know much about it. I've never really, thought it would be a thing. And when I went there, I was treated like I was a problem, a nuisance. The doctor was really irritated because I described my symptoms to a nurse previously, meaning, the half an hour that I had to wait for him to come in the room. And she obviously relayed it back to him. And he came and he almost skidded to a halt with his hands on his hips. White South African, early 40s. Head of the hospital, what seems to be the problem? Looking down his symptoms,
We're losing you, Sonia. Sonia? Wow. Lots and lots of trouble there. And what I might do is I'll just... Sonia, if you come back, just speak. We're just losing you. So it's or have you muted yourself, Sonia? Sonia, have you muted yourself? Okay. We'll come back to Sonia. So tell me, as you're going through, when you're joining these groups, Anne, what are they like? Are the people have the same symptoms as you? Is it something you get on and go, oh my God, that's exactly what I have? Or is it all various?
No, it would depend on what tick bit you, what type of tick, your genetics, and any myriad of different things. I got the MTHFR tested pretty early, so it was clear to me that I did have a lot of toxins in my body from just general life, and so that was going to be something as well. I had Epstein-Barr virus and chronic fatigue, and so when you're down, it's gonna knock you down further. So parasites is a big issue, and so ivermectin is everybody's friend. It's everybody's friend, whether you've got Lyme disease or not. Ivermectin is essential, because I don't know about you, but when we were kids our parents wormed us every 6 months. If you had a dog, you had a cat, you were wormed. Nobody gets wormed anymore.
Oh, I remember that.
But parasites are everywhere. And so ivermectin, which is really easy to get, and people should be using it. It's one of the safest drugs on the planet. In fact, in third world countries, it's called Sunday. So get it out, everybody, and use it. And the neurological issues for me have been the worst.
Can you tell us about those?
Well, it's for me, it's been like I've had a chronic headache forever. And
oh my God, really?
It's
so
not a headache.
Got a headache.
Yeah, well, I've been taking DMSO lately, something I've found in the last month, and it is amazing. So if people want to do some research on that, I highly recommend it, or MSM, and it's a sulfur medicine. So that has been wonderful lately, and literally reduce the neurological issues. So it's getting less and less, and I'm getting more and more energy. And but I know my limits as well. I mean, like being on holidays as well, I've had a nap each day, which has been wonderful. And I feel I can take on the world when I've had an hour's nap. And and I know my limits. If I've had a tough day, I'll go to bed early and say goodnight to the world, and wake up and do it all again the next day. But the headaches have been the worst.
Yeah, that would be. You said at the start though that you read somewhere that said Lyme was a gift. Have you reached that point where you think it's a gift?
Absolutely. If I hadn't have contracted Lyme disease, I probably would have been conned by COVID. I never, ever fell down that rabbit hole. I was not ever going to allow anybody to put something in my body, which, I knew that what was in my body already was there was something wrong. So to be putting something else in there was never going to happen to me.
Yeah. Wow. So I think you said that at the beginning. So you were saved from COVID by Lyme disease.
Yeah. And to a certain degree as well, I think those people that saw that COVID was a con, I think that COVID has been a gift as well, because so many people have woken up.
Oh, we're very awake now. Kath, I'm going to bring you on now, okay? Can you hear me? Here you are, Kath. Thank you for coming on. So I read out your piece that you sent me this morning, Kath. Why don't you fill us in? So you got it in 2013 from a tick bite, and tell us the amount of things that you've lost now to be where you are.
I've lost my home. I've lost my business. I can't work anymore.
What was your business?
I was a remedial massage therapist.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't been able to work since. And I'm now living in a caravan on a friend's property.
And you said you lost your children?
Sorry?
Sorry, Kat, did you say you lost your children?
No. I said not only have I suffered, but my children have had to as well. They're all grown up now, but they were young when I got it, because I was bitten in 2013. And I was just gardening, and I woke up the next morning and terrible headache, and I just reached back and felt something in my head, and I thought it was just a bit of a twig or branch after gardening, and I pulled it to try and get it out, and then pain just went shooting through my head, and then I got my phone and took a picture of the back of my head, and I saw it was a tick. And of course at the time I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, oh shit, the dogs get these and it's not good. I got my daughter to take it out with one of the tick removers that we use on a dog, And within a couple of hours, my face was paralyzed, feeling like you've been to the dentist. And then that started spreading all down my body. And I was taken by ambulance and was in ICU. And
Wow.
I still didn't get the proper treatment. And I was released from hospital. And within 2 weeks, I was back in again with big bullseye rash on my face.
Kath, can I ask you, when you were in hospital, did you tell them you'd been bitten by a tick?
Yeah, they all knew.
And what did they say to
I
that?
was bitten by a tick.
And what did they say to that?
It was weird at the time because they kept saying to me, "Oh, aren't you lucky there's no Lyme disease in Australia?" And I didn't have a clue at the time what Lyme disease was. And this is what the nurses and doctors were saying to me. And so they knew damn well what it was.
Wow.
And they let me get sicker and sicker and sicker to the point where I couldn't walk, I could hardly talk, I couldn't string a sentence together. My brain was just gone. I couldn't drive. I was vomiting constantly. I would get lost when I was going down the road to drop the kids to school. I just didn't know where the hell I was. And I ended up, like my parents thought I was going to die. I got that sick. And they, helped me to get to Germany to get treatment over there. But that was like a year after the bite. So it all gone through my body. And I'm just...
What was the treatment like? What did they actually do to you?
I had hypothermia and high dose vitamin C, all different like antibiotics and natural therapies, ozone therapy, just lots of stuff. So it was natural as well as antibiotics.
Can I ask you, Kev? Did they tell you though that did you get tested positive? Like the Germans say, "Yep, you've got it."
Yeah, and I tested positive to Babesia over there as well. And I, when I got back here, I found a doctor on the Gold Coast that would help me. Actually, it was him that recommended I went to Germany because when he saw me, he said, "Yeah, this isn't good. It's not going to end well. You need to get yourself to Germany as soon as possible." So, yeah.
Can I just stop you there for a sec? Because we had a doctor on before, and he said there's no Lyme disease in Australia, but you've been bitten by a tick, got sick straight away, been to Germany, and they've told you you've got it. So there we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've got tests that were done in Australia that say I've got it as well. But they shut down that was Australian Biologics, and the government have shut them down too because they were giving out positive test results. So they were telling everybody it's a false positive.
That's what the doctor here was saying. So why do you think someone said the thing? Here's Anna. Why don't they want to recognize it here? Do you have any idea, Kath? I'll go to Anne next, and then we'll try to bring Sonia back in, see if she works.
As far as like I've done a lot of research about this. As far as I know, it's all to do with money, meat exports. They're afraid of people suing them. It was recognized over here in the 80s, and it was treated. We even got a video I can send you later, Michael, that shows that people were treated here. The treatment was a month of IV antibiotics in hospital, and they've tried to cover everything. A month, yes. Yep. And they're trying to tell you that a couple of weeks of doxycycline is going to do it. It's not going to do it. They're destroying people's lives.
So are you suggesting that if it gets found out that there's Lyme disease in Australia, then no one will want to take our meat because the ticks will be on the cows?
Yes.
So
and I mean, I don't understand their logic at the moment because horses, it can take down a horse, it can take down a big cow. I don't understand why they think it doesn't do anything to people. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. And so and I heard you talking earlier about the book Bitten, Chris Newby in America, about the bioweapons, all of that. So that could be something to do with it as well. But yeah, it's all to do with money and government and politics. And
how does this sound to you, Anne?
My doctor, on the Gold
Oh,
Coast.
sorry. Finish what you're saying, Kath.
They got rid of my doctor on the Gold Coast in 2016. He wasn't allowed to treat people anymore, so I haven't had any treatment since 2016. And so I'm like going downhill badly again, to the point where last year alone I had total knee replacement in May. And then by November, the discs in my back collapsed on top of each other. So that was S1, L5, 4, and 3 had to be fused together. And now I've just been back and had MRI and CT, and now L2 has to be done as well. So it's spreading. My spine is just collapsing.
So your body's collapsing.
Yeah. The bacteria doesn't stay in the blood. It gets into your bones, it gets into the joints, gets into all the organs, and it just really screws you up completely. And I go to the doctor, they do my bloods. My bloods are all over the place. My liver's struggling. My vitamin B12 is really low. ANA positive. All of these things going on. And the doctor ignored all of it and said to me, I'll give you vitamin B12 injections 3 times a week. And then asked me, because I asked about the tick disease, Tick-Borne, he asked me if I wanted to see a psychiatrist. So that's what we're up against.
I'm just going to bring Sonia in. And before I do, Anne, how
Yep.
much of that resonates with you?
All of it. All of it. And the other thing I've been noticing, people talking about alpha-gal coming up. Professor Van Noonen in New South Wales picked up that there was a certain tick on the northern beaches that was causing the alpha-gal, which is 1 minute you can be a milk and meat eater, and the next minute you'll go into anaphylactic shock because you've been bitten by a certain tick. Kath, I'm so sorry you've got babesia. I don't have babesia. That's a terrible one to treat. It's a different form of a Lyme disease. Well, Lyme disease originated from Lyme in Connecticut, but tick-borne infections is probably something we should be talking about, because ticks carry all sorts of terrible illnesses, and this is why everyone is so different.
Yeah, so I've got
Borrelia.
Sorry, go ahead. We've got Borrelia, babesia, Bartonella, and mycoplasma. I just sent my bloods off.
And the company that tested you in Australia and found has been shut down by the Australian government for and they're claiming they're all doing false tests or false positives. And in Germany, they also tested you and found out you did have it then. You got the tick in Australia and went to Germany for treatment. And the doctor, I just got to get this through my head because it's so unbelievable. And the doctor that suggested you go to Germany because said you'd go bad, he has been sacked by the medical place that he was working.
Either he was told to retire, or they were going to he was going to lose his license.
Going to lose his license.
To retire. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he was helping
lose
so
his
many
license
people.
for admitting there is Lyme disease. Okay, so let's. Oh, Sonia. Man, we're having bad time with Sonia tonight. Sonia, I don't know if you can hear me, but it says device not connected. So we need an audio or something. Try your video again, mate. See how you go, Sonia. We'll bring you back in. How are you coping now and remaining to stay up and keep going, Kath?
One day at a time, basically. It's hard because like you were saying earlier, it's constant headaches every single day. Just varies from intensity from day to day. Some days it's absolutely excruciating. It feels like your head is about to explode. All over body pain that people do not understand. People look at you and say, "Oh, you know, you're okay. You're out. You're talking. You look fine." But yeah, it's a living nightmare. It really is. And I've got a good psychologist who really helps me because, like we were talking about earlier, because it gets into your brain and infects your brain, you do get a lot of suicidal thoughts. The pain, you just think it's never ending. So it makes it hard to cope day by day. And just,
And no NDIS support, anything like that?
No, I've got no NDIS.
Look
I've
at
got
and shaking your head.
disability support pension. I'm trying to live on that. That's all I get every week. And
how much? Can I just ask how much that is?
$600 a week.
$600 a week, and
Yeah.
so that's for paying rent, food, power, and everything else. Once that
Yeah.
sounded like a lot of money, but now, I was in this town here. We're staying in Port Macquarie. We went to Warhope, and I went into a bakery. I got a loaf of bread and a meat pie. Do you know how much that cost me? $16. $16. I remember looking at the girl going,
yeah. And I'm trying to also keep my private health insurance because I'm falling apart, and I'm just like having surgeries all the time. Like I've also had cervical like precancerous cells removed, and a couple of surgeries there as well. And it's just like total knee replacement, but I had like 3 or 4 surgeries before that trying to fix it. And then last year was just total knee replacement. And so I've got to try and keep my private health. So I'm trying to pay that. You've got your car, you've got, car insurance, petrol, food.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying about the meat pie. Even that was that expensive. Just paying for the thing. And I was thinking that thing was going to be cheap, but just surviving now is getting really, really tough.
Yeah. So, and and there's so many people out there. There's thousands upon thousands. Like,
there is. I meet them everywhere. Yeah, all of them with the same story. All of them ignored. All of them suffering debilitating injuries. All of them going to doctors and doctors telling them there's no Lyme disease in Australia.
Yeah.
And can I go back to you for a sec, Anne? Have you had to undergo any surgeries or anything like that, or it hasn't affected you that way?
No, I haven't. The Lyme arthritis is it was pretty bad, but as I say, I knocked that one down. That was probably the first thing that I knocked down with all the things that I did. I have an amazing routine when I'm stable, and that is on a Saturday when the other half's at work. I have the hottest bath I can possibly have with bucket loads of magnesium, and I take my iPad in there. It's like my spa day. And I don't mind telling everybody as well, I have a coffee enema. That's one of the detoxing things that I do, and I've been doing that now for probably 5 years. And I've got a red light machine. I've got an ozone machine. You name it.
Enema. Do you know how many jokes you just dumped in my lap with a coffee enema?
Great. You can make fun of me all you like.
No, I'm not. It's just like,
it's organic coffee.
I think Starbucks sells them, There's but so these are the things that you're actively trying everything to do it. So you're in a battle with this thing in yourself. How about your immune systems? Has anyone talked to you about how your immune systems have coped? Have they been overwhelmed? Or
my immune system is fine because I didn't get jabbed.
I'll start with Anna. I'll come to you, Kath. Yeah. Go, Anna. And
my immune system's fine because I didn't get jabbed.
Kath, yourself, how's your immune system? Have you got any autoimmune disease?
Yeah, I've been tested. It's like ANA positive. So my autoimmune system is struggling. I didn't get the jab either. I refused to, even though so many people wanted me to. I just thought, nah.
Wow.
It's going to kill me.
Now, I didn't know that either of you were on jab before this. So is that because of Lyme disease? You're thinking, I'm not taking anything from Big Pharma?
Yeah. And just like, I thought, if the Lyme doesn't kill me, this will. So I wasn't. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because Sonia's the same, but Sonia's just contracted it. It's a shame she can't come on. If you're watching, to have one more try, Sonia. So Sonia just contracted it. Did I say that word? contracted it. But she's a very strong, feisty woman. You know, I've seen her in the marches and stuff. Very powerful. And she was on the phone to me going, I'm in so much pain. Is there any doctors? I can't find a doctor. You know, I've got all these symptoms. I'm collapsing here. And just doctor after doctor ignoring her.
Yeah.
You know, and this is why we decided to do the show. Unfortunately, her internet's not working.
I've been walking down the hallway in my house when I first got it, and it was like I was playing bumper cars against the walls, and I just collapsed. I couldn't. You just can't walk. Everything just like you just feel like everything's shutting down. And so I've got osteoarthritis throughout my body. I've got degenerative disc disease as well, and no doctor will help me. When I go there, like the last one I went to a couple of months back, just wanted to send me to a psychiatrist, did not want to know about it. None of them want to know about it.
Do you ever get angry with them?
I do. I get very angry and I walk out. I actually, after my spinal surgery in November, I was kicked out of the hospital a week early, despite my surgeon wanting me to stay there for 3 weeks. The doctor in charge of the rehab center, which was at Greenslopes Private Hospital, he took it upon himself that, you're fine, you can shower yourself, you need to go home now, even though I was in excruciating pain and my pain was not under control. And I went off my head at them, and I told him to get out of my room, and I heard him laughing out in the corridors with another doctor, saying, there's no Lyme disease in Australia. And I wasn't even in there for anything for Lyme disease. I was in there for spinal fusion.
Wow.
Because it's on your records, it's on your paperwork, you've had a tick bite, so they all just make fun of you.
But it's just this thing. You think a doctor would be open. Sorry to overtalk you. You think a doctor would be open. He's got someone in front of him with all these symptoms. And he's just going, no, there's no Lyme disease. Can't be that. Can't be that. I mean, like saying there's no car accidents. Like finding you on the side of the road with a bus on you going, sorry, there's no car accidents in Australia. No, can't be that. Can't be this bus that's sitting on you. There's no, that's how crazy it is. Sonia, I'm going to try to bring you on now. You there? Let me move here. You there, Sonia? Sonia, you muted yourself. Can you see the thing to unmute yourself, Sonia, on your little microphone? There's a little line across it. Sonia? Not Sonia's note. There's a yes. So where'd you go from here? I mean, Kath, to you, what should I don't mean to upset you, but if the medical establishment is ignoring you or actually even being condescending to you, the government doesn't want to know, you're literally being left to just fade away in agony.
Yeah. And a friend of mine who also has it that I met in one of the Lyme groups, she's over in Mexico at the moment having treatment, and she's in a bad way. She's in a wheelchair. She had to have spinal fusion in her neck, and she's that sick now because they've left her untreated for so long in Australia that over there now she can't get home. She's that sick after the treatment, and they just said to her she's too far gone. She's nothing's going to help her now.
Okay, I'm going to try one more go.
Then back to Australia to die with no help, and they kicked her out of hospitals so many times over here. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
It is disgusting. It's if it wasn't for COVID, I'd be going, oh, no way, the medical. But now that we've had 5 years of COVID, suddenly it's like, well, this is the world we live in. Yeah. Let's go. Sonia, you there?
Yes, I think so.
Thank God for that. If only you'd come in 10 minutes early like I suggested you do so we could attest to that. Huh?
I'm so sorry, everyone, honestly.
Sonia, let's talk about you. So Sonia, for Kath, Sonia's
Yes.
just basically got it. When did Sonia? Where are you now with it? Have you found any doctor that'll listen to you?
No. I've spoken and I've driven to Brisbane from here. I've driven down to the Lower Hunter and seen 2 different naturopaths. I've had live blood tests. I've had all sorts of herbal concoctions and things. But the doctors that I've seen have all put their heads down, turned away, asked me if I had any psychiatric issues, implied that I was just a nuisance, and stop watching the internet and to go and take some Vermox and it'll be right.
So we've got
That's
3 ladies on here now. I've already
Yep.
interviewed about 8, and
Yep.
all of you have this strange psychotic disorder where you just walk around with all these weird illnesses and
Yep.
symptoms. You don't even know each other, and you all have
Yep.
similar ones. So it's just sort of
Yep.
this. You're all
Yep.
going mass hysteria or something. That's what the doctors think.
Yeah, apparently we're all damaged goods or something. I don't know, but
Will they acknowledge your symptoms?
no. Oh well, I've been to another doctor. I've tried a few out because you test them out to see, you know, where you're going to go. But basically, the whole medical profession is in denial of this, or they've been instructed not to enter or engage into any kind of conversation about these types of things. I think ARPA's probably given them, you know, guidelines as to what they can and can't do, how they're to deal with different types of people that walk through the door, and you are slotted into pigeonholes. And so the last doctor that I saw, which was a couple of weeks ago, I thought I'd try different approaches with different doctors. You know, can I get it's any different types of testing, you know, and I've slipped in that I was bitten by a tick. So I was basically told that he would run some blood tests, that he is unable to talk to me or discuss anything to do with Lyme disease or ticks in Australia, that he could lose his license. I've had 3 doctors tell me that, and 2 naturopaths tell me the same thing as well. If they
So the
even
naturopath could be deregistered as well.
Absolutely. Yep. I won't mention any names, but the guy I saw in Brisbane, who's an absolutely amazing herbalist and naturopath, he told me very clearly that he could not and was not able to discuss it, but that, you know, he would try and help me.
So he's not able to discuss it. So they've been. Do you know?
They've been
I was
silenced.
going to say this: if you became a doctor because you empathetically cared and you just wanted to help people, that was
Yes.
your driving force, and the money was secondary, and now you're living under this regime of APRA, that would explain, you know, and say you've got all these bills you got to pay, so you want to remain being a doctor because you spent
Yes.
years studying it, and now you're not allowed to help people like the 3 of you in front of them. I'm
Yeah.
not allowed to help you people.
Yeah.
This would probably explain why there's such a high suicide rate amongst doctors in the country, because we're actually damaging them. You know, they can't
Absolutely.
acknowledge vaccine injuries. They can't acknowledge this. I mean, it must be torturous for them, you know?
Yeah, I've had
Absolutely.
And the only doctors that seem to survive are the ones that just champion Big Pharma, as though Big Pharma was some great god that doesn't do anything wrong, you know? And
Absolutely.
the things like that. And APRA was like an underling god of these greater gods. I mean, that's what we're dealing with now, a madness. We've got all these
That's
people
right.
with symptoms. They can't all be mentally ill. What? Anne, look, she's a counsellor. What? Anne, can I ask you, Anne? Just wait, Sonia. Anne, how would your life benefit from before you got bitten by a tick? How have you benefited by pretending to be mentally ill all this time? How have you benefited from it? I'll come to you, Kath, now she's the same. But how has your life benefited from pretending to be this mentally ill?
I think most people know that I'm a nutter anyway, so, you know, it hasn't made any difference. Look, I think it's made me, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I'm really strong, and you have to be, you know, if you want a friend in politics, get a dog. but it's been a tough road. You know, I can't. I really have to you know, like doing this interview tonight, I wanted to have a nap today, because if I was going to push through, then, you know, I need the energy, because the ladies here will understand. You get Lyme brain, you know, sometimes you can't think of the words. You know, if you're standing up in debate, you need to have the words. The words are your weapons, sort of thing. And if you can't remember what it is you're trying to think about, then it gets a bit embarrassing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy, but I just want to say to these ladies and to all those people out there who have got some weird disease and think it's all in their head, it's not. Soldier on. We're here. We're here to help. And if I can pick up the phone and help you in any way, in any time, just to give you comfort, to say, I hear you, I feel your pain, you know, happy to do it.
That's gorgeous. And look, I'm going to ask you the same question, Kath, because there's people here, you know, they're saying that you've got a psychiatric disorder or you're making it up. You used to be a masseuse. You had your own place. I think you're probably doing well. Now you're in, I'm sorry, my darling, but you're in hell. How have you benefited by pretending you were sick, not actually being sick?
Yeah.
How has your life benefited?
Not at all. It's extremely hard. I mean, you know, like Anne was just saying, you've got to think, like, even just talking here tonight, like you can hear my voice starts going, and I start losing words and can't think of the words, the same as Anne. I can't work because I don't know how I'm going to be from one day to the next. I'm just in pain constantly. My head is killing me constantly. And yeah, you just can't function. And like,
and so the only benefit, Kath, because for the people that would say it's all in your head, that you're making it up, the only benefit for you making it up is to get $600 a week from the government. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's no incentive for you to lie. Obviously, you want to be well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be well and be able to work again, and you know, even be able to afford to pay rent again would be great. You know, it's not like I want to live in a caravan. It's not like I don't want to work. I just can't. And when they say it's all in your head, well, you know what? Neuroborreliosis is in your head, and it affects your brain. It eats away at your brain, just the same as it affects all the organs in your body. You know, every system in your body. There's nothing it doesn't touch. You know, and I'm not. I had a good job. I loved my job. I was, you know, remedial massage therapist, working for myself, doing very well, and this is just a living nightmare. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. And I saw some of the questions coming up. One lady asked, "Does it affect men as well?" Because apparently there's only women on.
I saw that question. I was going to bring it up.
Yeah, and well, yes, it does affect men as well.
Yeah, it does.
You know?
I've interviewed men with it.
Yeah. So, yeah, just because you know, another thing that doctors like to blame, especially when it comes to women, is menopause. They like to blame everything on menopause. So I've heard that one heaps of times. You're just, you know, menopausal, or
how about you, Sonia? You going through menopause?
And old age.
Pausing from men. I'm actually heading off to Thailand, because in Thailand
live, or just even get treatment there?
Well, they do treat you there, and they they definitely do, in all the hospitals and everything, and they treat you very, very well. And I'm going to go check it out, because it is a heck of a thing to have to deal with. And there seem to be so many people. In the last week, I've heard of another couple of people. One fairly close to me is a young 24-year-old male who he has the same issue. I haven't been able to get hold of him to ask him about coming on the show tonight, but I would have been very keen to hear his situation, because none of us have been treated with any respect or given any. It's just, yeah, there's obviously something going on, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly.
And when you
And
can't, the thing that annoys me is that the doctors just tell you it's all in your head, but they're not actually going, well, it could be this. It could be this. They're just saying, oh, it's menopause. They're just dismissing you like you're idiots. That's what it seems to be. And it's clear that the three of you aren't, you know?
when it's just one big indoctrination camp. Who writes the questions and who gives the answers? It's not us, is it? We've got questions and we're not getting any answers. So,
because you think a good doctor would go, look, I don't think it's Lyme disease, but it's clear that you're having symptoms. So let's run some tests, or let's find out what it is, rather than just send you home in pain. And Kath especially, you know, it's obvious she's not making this up. She's living in a caravan now on a pension where she was supporting herself. So it's clear she's not making it up. I don't think either of you are making it up.
No, I've spent thousands trying to get to the bottom of it. And as I said, the doctor I saw a couple of weeks ago, I've only had 2 visits and that will be my last, because he asked me on the first visit if he said he would try and help me find out what's going on with my body. He would run some blood tests, which he did, and they all came back negative. And he said that, you know, we'll try a couple of other things, but it may just be your lot in life. And he then proceeded to tell me that he needed to talk to me. He tapped his wrist and said, this is only a 30-minute appointment, but on the next visit, he said, I'd like to discuss with you, should you find yourself incapacitated in a hospital ward, would you like the life support left on or turned off? And I'm sitting in the chair. I don't know this doctor from any other doctor that I've ever run into, and I just couldn't believe it. I thought, wow, what's he asking me? Have they been told that they're ushering people in through doors now, you know? Like what's going on with that? So I went back for the test results, and I won't be going back again, because he repeated that he said all these results have been negative. I can't tell you any more than, you know, I've done what I can, sort of thing. And he said there's only one other test that I can possibly think of, and it's to do with something to do with vitamin B levels. And I just thought, this is bordering on insanity, sitting here and listening to this any longer. And he said, repeated, it may just be your lot in life. And I don't want to have that other conversation with him, you know. I just don't.
Can I just ask, this is to all of you, is there a test for it overseas? Like in Germany, is there a test for it? In America? Because we know that Justin Timberlake has it. Is there a test? What is the test?
Yeah, there's lots of tests. There's a company in America called iGenex, and they do testing. And there's plenty of Australians that have used that and have tested positive. But the doctors over here and the government will not recognize overseas testing. So
they won't even do it. They won't recommend it. They won't even discuss it.
So they won't do it here. And when it gets tested overseas and you're found positive, they just ignore it here.
Yeah. They won't recognize any overseas testing at all.
Wow.
Basically, they won't recognize anything that says you've got it.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's crazy. And I've spent, like, since 2013, I've spent well over $100,000 trying to get better. And the trip to Germany alone was $40,000. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Then you've got all your medications and everything when you come back. And you know, I've had that many surgeries. I've had PICC lines in my arms, and you know, just lots of medications when I had a doctor that would treat me, and then you just left with nothing and nowhere to turn to.
So we have Daniel here saying that these people are just ripping you off. But where else do you have to turn? Because our doctors, now great medical system, just ignores you and doesn't want to treat you. And as they said to Sonia, they just offer you, you know, what do you want to do if you're incapacitated? Do you want us to save you or not? And so that's almost medically assisted suicide. It's like a little tempting coming in.
Yes. Yes.
Can I just say that some of the comments that I've been reading, there's a saying, live a day in the life of my shoes, and tell me what I should be doing or what you would do if you had the same thing, you know. And so it's one thing to be putting comments over Facebook saying you can do this and you can do that, but I mean, I'm certainly in a better place than these two ladies and a lot of people out there. I am, because I've crawled my way back. But there are people. I mean, it can affect your heart, and you can die of a heart attack. So there's some really sad things happening to people. And as I said before, you know, if you get diagnosed with cancer, people are so sympathetic that you've got cancer and, oh, it's terrible. You got Lyme disease, you're like a leper.
And it's actually hard too, even with family members or people that you might be working with, and anyone around you that sees you, because they can't see it. And, you know, it's not a cough, it's not a broken arm or a broken leg that you can go and get fixed. There's nothing. And it's a very hard thing to deal with. I mean, the level of anxiety, I just can't put that to words. When you first start feeling these strange things, it's, and to be rejected by the doctors, the people that you're supposed to go to that are supposed to be caring and compassionate, and they ask you if you have, you know, any psychiatric issues or whatever. I mean, that's cruelty beyond. You can't put words to it.
Yeah.
No,
you can't. You know. So Tataskew wants to know when you were. It was November, wasn't it?
November, yeah.
Yep. So last November.
Yeah. Yep.
So you've been suffering from this a year then.
Yes, and I was.
And is it getting progressively worse, or is it staying stable?
I've been on a really, really strict diet. I've knocked sugar off, carbs, everything. I've completely tried everything that I can do personally to get rid of anything that's, you know, causing this problem. I mean,
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for all of you, actually. I know Anne said a thing early on that when she first had it, she read a book that said, or read a quote, I think it was a quote, Anne, that someone said Lyme disease is a gift. And but even so, if that's what you eventually get to, I think not only just having the disease, but being ignored by your country, being ignored by your country's medical system, the condescension you're facing, is horrendous. It's just, it speaks of a lack of just basic kindness in the country, you know, because there's obviously something on it. Well, why would the three of you make this up? I mean, it's ridiculous, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird form of cruelty to ignore people who are suffering, and not for the government not to explore any of that tells me that there's a lot more to the story than meets our eyes.
I've got to read out some of the comments here. Sorry, Kath, go ahead.
Sorry, they had a Senate inquiry back in 2016, and I was quite involved in that.
Okay.
And, you know,
what were the findings?
They wanted to call it. They said they know there's something in our ticks that's making people sick, but they don't know what it is. So basically, if you look on the government website, they have a thing called DSCAT, GSCATT. So they're saying that the doctors are allowed to treat us and that they are treating us, and it's all a load of bullshit. They've got 365 pages of bullshit that you're trying to work your way through. You can't even understand it. Doctors can't even understand it. And they just had another Senate inquiry last year, which has gotten us not anywhere near being recognised whatsoever. If anything, things have gotten worse since the Senate inquiries. They're sort of like they're doubling down. And I mean,
the doctors are scared.
Yeah,
the doctors are scared. They won't do any. They won't touch it.
But if you look on the government website, it says that their doctors are allowed to treat us, and that doctors are treating us. And if you bring this information to your doctor, they will treat you. Well, they are not treating us.
No,
it's all a lie. Have a look on the government website; you'll see it.
So the government actually says there's something in the ticks that's causing people to get very sick, but we don't know what it is. We know it's not Lyme's. Can't be Lyme's, but we don't know what it is.
Yep, and back in the 80s, also Michelle Wills, she found Borrelia in the ticks in Australia. And they're saying because it's not Borrelia burgdorferi, which is the American strain, that it's not making it sick. It's a Borrelia. It's the same thing. It's a corkscrew bacteria, and it is making people sick. And they've known about it for years, and they're just trying to cover it up and hide it. And people will probably think I'm crazy or whatever for thinking this, but if you do the research, you can see it. There's videos online. There's blood tests.
And nodding at everything you're saying.
Yeah, it's all there. It's all there. And the solution to that 2016 inquiry was, let's just change the name of it, because it's more than just Lyme disease or whatever. And that was quite euphoric at the time. But then, like I said, with the 2018 National Party motion that was put up, nothing's been done since. Nothing.
Oh, there's another question
I know.
here. Have you ladies sought support from the LDAA, Lyme Disease Association of Australia?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the
can't
association
do for us either. I mean, they're stuck as well. They can give you support by talking to you, but I mean, I've rang them. I've asked them for names of doctors that can help me. They can't give me a name because there is no one. And if they had
someone from one of those associations on, and that's what they were exasperated. Yeah, they were just helping, just people helping each other. Sharon, yeah.
You I've spoken to a lady that lives on the mid-north coast today, actually, and she's had 8 tick bites in the last 2 months. She's currently clearing her property with the help of a couple of, tradies to just clear. She wants to keep on top of it because she owns a few acres. But another lady in the Northern Beaches I know, and the Northern Beaches has a serious issue. Northern Beaches of Sydney, we're talking about. With paralysis ticks and other types of ticks. They have a shocking problem there. And a woman that I know just sent me some photos of her face, little tiny microscopic ticks, and she has big red welts all over her face from tick bites. And they live in a beautiful, very, very expensive home on the side of hillside of Northern Beaches. So, those people are really dealing with a big problem down there as well. And there's nowhere for anyone to go.
There's only about 34% of people that will get a bullseye rash, and some people just don't get anything. Yep. So they're the ones that will struggle because they've been made debilitatingly sick, but don't understand why. Or at least if you get a bullseye rash, you can say, "Yep, that was a tick bite."
Oh, I've seen the bullseye rash. It actually does look like a bullseye. Yeah. I wish I could offer you more help than just airing your stories. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap it up? And to everyone watching or anyone with Lyme disease, please feel free to use this, download it, take it, cut it up, whatever you want to do. And because to me, we just have to stop talking. There's obviously something here. I've met too many people who have it or claim they have it. That I don't believe all these people are lying. There's something here needs to be addressed, and we should address it because that's why we set up a medical system in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah,
How about,
it's
I might start with
just
you, Anne. Is there anything you'd like to
more
say?
and
And I'll
more.
go around to Kath and then I'll finish with Sonia. How
Well,
about, is there anything you'd like to say, Anne?
I don't want to be mean, but I would hope.
Oh, Anne just got cut off. Okay, let's go to Kath. Kath, is there anything you'd like to say? We'll come back to Anne.
Just that, you know, for everybody else, if you hear this story, just be careful when you're outside and use repellents. And if you do get a tick bite, try and get some help straight away, which, I mean, I did, but it didn't help me in the long run. But also that it's just, even with climate change and everything, there's more and more ticks about. And even the vets are saying that this year is going to be the worst year ever. And, you know, it's getting hotter, we're having rain, and the ticks just love that kind of weather.
Yeah.
And they're just multiplying. And yeah, it's, you know, it's all it takes is, you know, not every tick might give it to you, or you know, maybe your immune system is good, but when your immune system goes down, that's when, because it can lie dormant as well inside your body until, you know, you get sick, and then it'll come out and attack at that time as well. So, and just unfortunately for me, when I got bitten by a tick, I was actually getting over Legionella, which I got in the hospital. But yeah, so I was trying to recover from something already when I got bitten by the tick. So my immune system was already struggling.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So it really took me down.
Where's that lovely accent from, Kath? Is that Canadian?
From Ireland.
Oh, you're from Ireland. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Anne, as soon as you went to speak, gone. So let's. That's all right. What would you like to say?
I would hope that not just people that aren't doctors and aren't politicians are the only ones getting Lyme disease or borreliosis or tick-borne illnesses. When doctors and lawyers and politicians start getting Lyme disease, something will be done. They can't just be immune to it. So, yeah, as I say, I don't want to be mean, but it don't pick and choose. So that's the only time that things are ever going to change, I believe.
Okay. Now, my lovely friend Sonia, would you like to take us out with something for the song?
Thanks, Michael. Great show. Great to expose us and let people know what's happening out here. Yeah.
Really? Is that all you wanted to say? That was pretty quick.
Well,
usually a lot more boast than that.
I missed what Anne was saying, and I was very interested to hear, and I will replay this later on this evening. But thanks for everybody's input, and it is, you know, a horrible thing to say, I suppose, but it's good to know that there's other people out there that know what you know what everybody's been dealing with, because it is a very lonely experience to have something that you're not getting answers for, and people sort of telling you, well, you know, you know.
Yeah, and if it can
I'm
help,
so sorry, guys. This is Karen Bloom here.
Yeah. If it can help people, and even if it can help even one person, then, you know, standing up and speaking out makes it worthwhile.
Absolutely.
Because people need to know that it's not, you know, it's just a tick. It's not just a tick. It can destroy your life.
Can I ask if any of you written a book about this? I know one person has written a book about. Has everyone written a book of your experience, or is it too hard with Lyme disease to actually concentrate?
Yeah, it's very hard, and I find it very hard. Like, I know you had Julie on a while ago, and she wrote the book.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read her book. I have been trying for a while, but I've got the attention span of a 2-year-old. I read the page, and then it's like, oh, I can't remember what I've read. I've got to read it over and over again. So, but yeah, you know, I've spoken to Julie as well, and yeah, so it's, you know, and I think that's another reason for speaking out, is just all of us are trying to help people, and we're not trying to make anything out of it, you know. It's just, to me, it's just insanity that, in a country like Australia with so many ticks that they don't acknowledge tick-borne disease. You know, I don't care whether you want to call it Lyme or not. I don't give a shit what you call it. Just help people, because it's just destroying lives. And it's not just our lives, it's our families' lives, our children's.
I have to say that, yeah. Having, I feel fortunate that I have good faith, and I'm a Christian myself, and that's where I'm taking this, because I haven't been able to find anybody else other than Anne herself, who I've spoken to on quite a few occasions, has really helped me get through this, and other ladies like Kath, who probably, you know, can offer a lot of help and support to people suffering with it that have only just discovered that they may have it, or be confused about why they're feeling the way that they are. But yeah, I'm definitely praying about this, and I feel that it's given me a lot of strength as well to help, because there's only so much that us humans can do down here where we're at, and you know, I believe in a creator, and I think that you know, that miraculous things can happen. So I'm gonna take it there with everything that I've got.
Take care, Sonia. Ladies,
thank you.
All three of you, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your story. I hope it has some form of positive effect. And
thanks, Michael.
And we'll continue. I wish
Michael,
you the best.
thanks to you for all you do. Thank you.
Oh, no worries.
Absolutely.
Kath, good luck, Kath.
Thank you.
Seriously, good luck. Okay.
Thank
And if anyone wants to reach out to any of the ladies, email us at cafedoctor@gmail.com, and then we'll pass them on. Okay. cafedoctor@gmail.com, and we'll pass, anyone wants to reach out to these, and we'll pass them on rather than just handing out yours. Okay, good night, everybody. We're going out with Harbour. There's a harbour in my heart. This is where we thought maybe the doctors, this is a doctor's song to us once, but it's not there anymore. Anyway, so I'm going out with this song. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
There's a harbor in my heart where you used to fix your sails. There was no berthing fee to pay, and there were no documents to sign. You used to just relax before figuring out what you needed to do, for the ocean is vast, yet wherever you went, the currents always lead back to you. Now there's a museum in town full of memories of you. Seems the council here have nothing better to do. They change room by room as the outer you grew, but when you switch off the lights, the inner you still glows. There's a harbor in my heart where you used to fix your sails. There was no berthing fee to pay, and there were no documents to sign. If the storms grow too long, why not set sail for me? Otherwise, at least know that there's a part of you here, alive and so full of fire that I'm wondering if it's you that's powering all of these lights. That I'm wondering if it could could be you, who is powering all these streetlights. There's a harbor in my heart where you can come and fix your sails. There will be no birthing fee to pay, and there will never be any documents to sign.